Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode, another live. I'm here on the Prospera Key Facebook and YouTube. If you haven't caught us on YouTube yet, you can see some of our previous lives. But once again, my name is Nicole Gonzalez. I am hosting every week's live, and usually we come with a new topic, and we're being joined by a special guest. And the special guest that we have today, I'm really excited to have her on. Truly, I have seen her growth since the beginning when she started in Prospera. And I know that she's had a lot of growth on a personal level. When she first started in the industry. I'm going to let her talk about that. But truly, Diana, there's a reason why we have you on the live, and it's mainly because of your consistency, the level of professionalism that you have, your desire to learn and learn a lot, coming in with our system and, our platform and what we're offering now. And really, I can't think of anybody that can come on here and have the perspective that you have. So I'm so excited to have you here. And before we go ahead and get into the topic, I'd really love to ask you, Diana, how was it that, tell the people who you are, where you came from, what did you do prior, and now, talk a little bit about your journey into Prospera.
So hi guys, my name is Diana DeJesus and I'm based out of Florida, and I've been in the financial industry for I'd say about 9 years. Previously, before coming to Prospera Key, I honestly did more of the taxes on my own, kind of getting that journey on and learning the basics. It wasn't until this past year that I met an amazing colleague from Prospera Key that presented me along for Prospera and what Prospera has to offer. And I can't, honestly, I'd say if I didn't put it off for so long, I would have joined earlier than the long time that I took. But honestly, I feel that coming into Prospera has opened my mind in so many ways, not only in taxes, but how much we can learn together. And I can say that, for me, when I started with Prospera, it was a challenge at the very beginning because you're used to just the basics. You're just used to your comfort zone, and sometimes breaking the show is needed. And I feel for me that what really got me started and just taking that chance and coming to Prospera was for more growth, more knowledge, more opportunity for me, for my family, because Prospera has it all, honestly. And I feel that the passion I have when it comes to finances, everything started from just working along with my parents in their business. It gave me that interest, why not? Let's learn a little bit more. And then I feel that just coming to Prospera, learning new things, it's a challenge. I'm not gonna say it's easy, but I feel that the support that the company has, the family, because you feel welcome, you feel that you're not just like an employee. No, you feel that you're family. And I feel for me that's very important because it gives me more of the comfort when it comes to expanding in these areas.
No, yeah, I'm so happy that you touched up on a couple things, and I love it because it just gives you a little bit of perspective. I know that you're super excited, and you're such a team player in our chats. You are such a team player in our meetings and our trainings, and you're also willing to help other people.
Yep.
Which not often do we have people coming in and they have no responsibility but to take care of themselves in their process as a producer with us, but going beyond and just being one of those. I think you were brought in with Carmen
Carmen.
Surria, and Carmen is part of Daniela's team here at Prospera, so it makes sense. It makes sense. And you had such an amazing what do you call it? You had such an amazing journey in Prospera, like throughout the whole tax season. And I just always loved hearing from you, even at our events and stuff like that. But I know that you had mentioned something in the past, which was a little bit of relearning that you had to do because you did come from the industry. You did come from knowing how to do taxes and accounting. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you are an accountant for, or you help manage finances
Mhm.
for an organization. So tell me a little bit about that relearning stage, even if it was minor, or just having to restructure and relearn some things that maybe you didn't really get from just finding out from yourself outside of Prospera.
So honestly, I feel like the relearning part for me is something really big because a lot of the things that I learned when I was doing taxes on my own, I had to force myself, like I had to dig in and okay, so this is what we can do, this is what we can't do. And then coming from working from little individual other offices and other people, that you share information is not the same when you come into a structured business and you're provided this material, you're trained correctly on how to do taxes, how to do finances when it comes to just working individual taxes, when it comes into business taxes. And I feel that I had to I was like, oh my God, I did not know this. When it comes to just the simple stuff, honestly, because we don't know it all. And I can't say, even though I have 9 years of experience, I know it all. I don't. Every day I feel like we learn something new. And then if it's probably that something that I do know and maybe another colleague doesn't know, we share that information. And then that's something very impacting for me because I am not used to that. I am used to if I don't know it, I have to figure it out myself. But coming into Prospera and being able to rely on an amazing team that I can say, hey, I don't know this. Can you guide me? Okay, let's search for it together. Let's learn it together. That's something big. That's something that sadly nowadays maybe a lot of people or potential tax preparer that do want to come into the financial industry, sometimes they kind of step back and jumping into this path because of that. And I
Mhm.
was I actually I was hesitated, and we can speak about Daniela was so persistent on me. She's like, I guarantee you that this is going to be something different for you. And I was very just a little bit hesitant based on my past experience because I was like, you know what, I just want to go and let's do it. But then I used to be left in blank. But coming to Prospera, it was completely different. It was like if one manager is not available, the other team member is available. If this team member is not available, there was a backup at all times. So that kind of makes you feel secure, in that area when it comes to relearning everything again.
Yeah. No, and also like learning how to depend on other people too, because you're always so if you start in an industry and you're not necessarily connected to a platform or a team that can help, support you in your process, support your clients,
Yes.
support your system, sometimes it's like you always are depending on yourself to understand things and hopefully understand it fully. But here it's kind of crazy how we've been able to have so many people come into the industry knowing something, and we truly are a family in that aspect, that we're helping each other out. Like even with our divisions, that we say like our divisions communicate. If a client has an issue here, it's like, okay, let me just double check with the tax lady over here,
Yeah.
or oh,
Very important. Yeah.
comes over here asking about questions about life insurance, but I do taxes. Well, let me call the life insurance lady really quickly. That's in house, right? So those are usually some of the things that you have to kind of relearn to
Mm-hmm.
not only depend on your own knowledge, not necessarily that it is incorrect, but maybe there's another layer to it that you don't realize might further benefit, right? So
Yes.
I love that you were able to experience that firsthand. And honestly, it's like how we say in the tax division, your word of mouth will always like go beyond. And I feel like you having a good experience in the amount of support that we give as a company, that just goes to show, and your word of mouth just spreads.
Yeah.
Just like right now, it spreads. I think that you are currently building your team.
Yes.
And there's no hesitation from what I've been seeing on those individuals, but we'll get that to we'll get into that in a second. But let's talk about, you know, your confidence growing, right? Now that you've kind of learned another layer of professionalism going into the tax industry, and you know, improving your service and improving just having an all-in-one service for your clients, because most people go to a, you know, a tax lady for one thing and that's all they get, right? They just, okay, perfect, yeah, I already signed your or I'm sorry, your case. There goes my Spanish. Here's your, and I'm bad at Spanish, but there's a little bit of good Spanish, right? They're like, yeah, I'll just sign your case and yeah, okay, whatever, you're done. But here we go through the full blown service. We find out areas of financial leaks, financial things where we can help the client a little bit more. So I want to understand, like, one thing, you know, is how you've grown professionally now as a professional, and the tools that we've been able to offer you to further help your clients. Not, you know, just learning the business, but really stepping into the confidence, and what helped you grow the most when it came to your production and professionalism. Like, what was it that we offered that allowed you to do that for your clients?
So for me, I would say what came in growth of my production and professionalism, I would say my consistency was the biggest thing. A lot of people think confidence comes first, but honestly, confidence after repetition and experience is gonna help a lot. And I'd say just staying consistent, even though you don't see probably the workflow how you probably have in mind, or you probably have a set goal in mind that this is what I want to accomplish at the end of the tax year. This is just more of that. I feel that your numbers will come in with time, but making sure that you're being consistent, making sure that you're being, you know, determined, okay, this is what we got to do, this is what we want to accomplish. That's very important. The more I stayed consistent, the more I learned how to communicate better. I would say at the beginning, I would tell Daniela, look, Daniela, this is not gonna work. Like, and honestly, she's like, you just gotta, you know, keep on. And I'm like, okay, you know. But I felt that the more I stayed consistent, the more I learned how to communicate better. I lead better, you know, and believe in my abilities. I feel that, you know, if we lose track of keeping yourself, like I would say not more of a self-control, but keeping your mindset control and saying, you know what, I'm probably not going to reach this number, but I'm going to have 30, 40, 50 potential clients that will stay for me, you know, stay faithful, but you're being consistent on that. You know, organizing. I had to organize myself. I would say organizing myself kind of put me through, and I would say, this is how I'm going to handle this better. You know, and I stopped focusing so much on being perfect. Like, I need this, and just focus more on growing every day. You know, I feel like personal development, like desarrollo personal, how we say it, is very important, because then that keeps me on track. You know, it keeps me on track, even though you're not getting what you want. But at the end of the day, I feel that if you keep practicing yourself, you will reach what you want to, you know, reach at the end of the day. So I feel like experience became my greatest teacher. Like, I'm still learning. Every training that Prospera gives, every week, it's an opportunity for us, especially when you come into the company. It's an amazing tool. You know, you're teaching yourself, even though you probably say, I already know this. A refresher always helps. And I feel like discipline just helps me continue, like, and every day, you know, maintaining that confidence in myself.
Exactly. And I love that. And you know what? I will say that too. Sometimes you have to like fake your confidence until you actually really like live it and breathe it. And you know, one thing that I did notice throughout the season is that you were you say the word consistency, and the truth is that you were very consistent with your marketing. Even because Prospera, what's so great about Prospera is that when you start with us, we do give you the scripts, we give you the tools, we give you the software training, we give you the beginning to the end, how to deal with the client, how to work with the client. We give you an agent portal, which is insane that you have hundreds and hundreds of marketing materials done for you already. But what I loved about you, Diana, is that you would always go a step further and create your own marketing material. You would always be in front of the camera. You would always make an announcement here and there. And that is what keeps you consistent. And I will say this, I don't know if it's kind of crazy to mention it this way, but you know the story, the childhood story of the tortoise and the hare?
I've
Basically,
heard a bit of it.
yes. So just to explain it for those of you who don't know that story, so there is a race, and it's a turtle versus a rabbit. And basically, the rabbit, would think that the turtle is, super slow. The rabbit is very confident. He goes very quickly throughout the race. And then in the middle, he takes some breaks because he feels that, yeah, I'm like going to win this by a long shot, right? I'm going to take my little break here and then I'll get back to running. And then, runs a little bit more and then takes a little break again, right? And that is just a reflection of inconsistency. But then you have the turtle all throughout the race, right? Is walking very slowly towards the finish line. But guess what? The turtle wins the race because he was the most consistent.
Consistent.
And
Yep.
consistency will always be, what do you call it? Ego and overly confidence and arrogance. It will always, always beat it. And sometimes you can't just assume that that you're not going to win just because it's coming a little slower to you. No. So I want to say that anybody that's watching, there are so many examples of agents in different styles that are very successful with us in the tax division and are now being very successful in the life division. There's a lot of things happening, but I would say like one of those things that I did see you grab by the hair and run with was marketing. And I love it because, it's like you don't wait for the company. The company provides you so many things, but taking that next step forward goes to show, how important this is for you. So it's really nice to see. Now, one of the things that I have noticed in the last couple weeks, right? Now that tax season is over, guys, I just want to talk a little bit. If you are new here, we do offer different kinds of services. We do the life insurance, health insurance. We do bookkeeping. We do taxes. So that would be business taxes, personal taxes, debt solutions, and credit repair. Our two strongest divisions right now where we are recruiting and bringing new individuals to start with us with zero experience prior would be the life division and the tax division. You heard that right. So the tax division is not waiting until October to open the doors. No, we are opening our doors right now so that way you can start in the tax division, learn, become a tax preparer. And the great news is that you will be able to help individuals that even at this point have not filed their taxes, are late on previous years of taxes, or need amendments, or are getting ready to do their extension in October. So you're going to learn a lot of things. And guess what? You can refer to all of the divisions that I mentioned and receive a commission. So when we say that we are a one company, all solutions, that is what I mean. And that was my little anuncio, right? The cherry on top of that actually is that our division for taxes is only offering, we're charging only $99 the registration fee. for everything when you come into Prospera for the tax division. And guess what? Same thing for the life division. 99, and then we got 99. Mind you, mind you, last tax season, every single agent with us, their registration fee was $499. So you are getting a humongous deal, and there is a limited time on this. This deal will be gone September 8th. So if you are wanting to join in, make sure you do so. But with that being said, what I did notice in the last couple weeks, Diana, is that it seems that you're looking to step into the leadership side and build your own team. So tell me, what has made you think, okay, I experienced it for myself on a producer independent level. What made you want to take that next step and have create a team within Prospera?
So I honestly, more of a personal reason first. I come from a big family, so I have 6 sisters. And it started off from them just asking, "Hey, how do you come into like the business? What are you doing?" Like I had a lot of feedback from my sister's side, and they were like, "I want to be potentially like you." So I was just, I realized that growth was just becoming just bigger than just sitting down and just doing taxes. I started seeing how many people are probably looking for this opportunity for mentorship, for guidance. I've honestly had people reached out that do taxes and ask me questions about it. And I'm like, if I can give them tips and, on how to teach them how to do taxes, why not? Why not build my team? And I feel that my biggest goal, like I was telling Daniela, is I want to start off with my siblings. I have my sisters. We're all probably a year and a half age difference, so we all have an amazing mindset. And I feel that, I always say that if the sun shines for me, why not for everybody? When it comes to leadership, to me, it's not just about the title. Honestly, it's about impacting lives, helping them. And I am the type of person that I put myself in the shoes of my client, or more say of families, when it comes to that. It's about helping people and themselves, showing them what's possible when they can stay committed. And also in other areas of the company, not only taxes, how we have our different division. Like you said, we have the life insurance division, we have healthcare, we have credit repairs, we have so much opportunities. When we start helping out these families, they're not just coming to us for one thing. And they probably think they are just coming for one thing, but once you start talking to them and engaging with them and just letting them know, hey, we have this, we offer this, they're like, oh my God. I had 2 of my clients this tax year that reached out when I did their taxes and everything, and they were like, I'm looking for someone that they're my go-to for everything. And they were like, you're the person that I was looking for. And it felt so good because I was able to provide to them not only just for tax services, but they're in the process of purchasing a home. So they're in the process of getting their credit repair. So we were able to offer those services, and they're feeling in that comfort zone. They're saying, you know what, this is where I want to stay. They don't have to jump from different people to get these services provided. They know who to come to, knowing that they're going to get all services in one, which I feel like that's something big. So like when I decided to speak with Daniela about it, and I was like, you know what, I want to open a tax office. My goal is by the end of this year is to open my tax office here in Lakeland.
I didn't hear that. I love that.
Yes, I have a mindset. And and I feel like when we come into the industry overall, even if it's just us as, especially I feel like the females are a little bit more open, but
Right.
my husband is very supportive in that area, and he's like, if you want to open it, go for it, like just go for it. And I feel like you never know if you can't or can't unless you jump and risk it all. Like, let's go, let's do it. And I just don't want to just expand here in Florida. I'm like, I want to build a team, especially women. Like, I engage a lot overall with a lot of mothers and how they potentially probably want to stay home with their kids and have that flexibility. And I'm like, this is the way. This is your opportunity now. Why not? We can expand in different areas. We work together. We strive for a goal together, and it's one vision. We're all, we all as mothers, as wives, we all have a vision that queremos salir hacia adelante. Like, we want to have a future for our family. And I feel that once you start circling yourself, and your circle is just with that, mindset, and with that circle chain of people that are gonna push you to grow, the sky is the limit. I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. I'm like, Daniela, we're gonna do this. Like, I want to do it, And I feel that that support that Prospera is giving us, it's endless, honestly. And I am so thankful. I'm honestly so thankful.
That's so awesome. I didn't hear that part, and I'm so excited to hear it. Honestly, to have a whole team of women coming from Diana, that's crazy. No, and honestly, what I love is that basically, that you're not doing it alone. You have your full support. You will have our systems. Literally, it's just duplication. Everything is already done for you, and it's not easy, but it's simple.
Yes.
All you have to do is just follow the steps, right? And and when I say like you don't have to do it alone, and just so the viewers understand a little bit more in detail, every time a new agent of ours has come in that came through someone else or another agent in Prospera. So for example, let's say that I had brought somebody to join the team, and I mean, I help in that support side. But let's say Diana has brought some people through the team. Diana has not had to do orientations. She has not had to do the onboarding. She has not had to do the direct training for that individual. She has not had to create the marketing materials for that individual or prepare that individual with all of our systems. We actually take care of it for her. And that individual will be brought up, built up, not only alongside for Diana, but for Diana. And truly, I think that's one of the things that most people are scared of when they build a team. Oh my gosh, everything is just going to be on me. Am I going to be able to handle it? And we here in Prospera, we're saying no. We're able to help you in the process to grow. You go find the people, you go find your vision, you shoot for those stars, and we're going to be here to support you. So I'm really excited because Diana, don't think small, think large, think big, think 50 people, think 100 people before the next tax season. Think in those terms, and really you're gonna see such a huge impact all around for your clients and your own life. So truly, I'm glad that these are the next conversations that you're having with Daniela and our partners. And that's when real leadership starts, when you actually want to take advantage and help the people around you, because your growth becomes bigger than just and that is what you did have. You experienced the growth for yourself. Now you're willing to share it with everyone else. And now, one of the things, like I had mentioned, not only is Diana actually recruiting for the tax side, she's actually herself converted into the life insurance division too, which is awesome. And I love it because, as you know, all of our services, they are hand in hand, right? And something I always say to our agents is that we always want to take the opportunity to help the client further, not send them away to another company outside. And then eventually you don't retain the client because they're in 5 places for 5 different things instead of just being in one place for 5 different things. And that's exactly why we structured Prospera to be the way it is. So, I want to ask you now, with the opportunities, you diving into life insurance, you diving into, the tax division, what would you tell somebody who's thinking about getting started and who's wondering if they should make that next step with you?
I would honestly tell them not to wait until they're feeling fully ready. I feel like that was for me, that kind of like hold me back a bit. Just putting it off until you feel like that safe set. Like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Because most people never feel completely ready in the beginning. Honestly, it's nerve wracking. You're like, oh my God, it's so much information. But growth starts with taking the first step. And I feel like you will learn through the process, through the consistency, through staying connected, with the whole trainings and the mentorships and all the team support. If I would say, if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to stay committed and keep growing, opportunities will open up and far beyond what you probably can imagine, you know? But I would say just take that step, invest. I would say this has been the best investment that I've ever done. And it opens so much doors. If you just limit yourself to one thing, then that's something optional for the person. But I feel like if you just invest in yourself and you let these doors open, you're gonna just strive way more than you can expect. It's nerve-wracking. I've been there, but I'm like the type of person that I can probably overthink it here, but I'm like, you know what, let's just go for it. Let's just do this. Let's get it out the way. But then once you're in, everything is just going to go with the flow, basically. We're not going to know everything at the end of the day. We're still going to keep asking questions, things learn, laws change, a lot of things change. But that's the whole concept of working with a support team. So I'd say if you're seeing this today and you probably have this opportunity and you're like, you know what, I want to give it a try, don't think about it. Just jump right ahead and come along. And this is just not a team. It's more than a team. It's a family. You're going to feel welcome and everybody's going to be here to get your back. Have your back.
I love it. I love it. But no, I mean, truly, you don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to have prior experience. We help you get licensed in the life insurance division as if you have no idea how to, do 1 + 1 = 2. You don't need to know anything. We will help you from the beginning where you are at and get you to that level. Same thing for the tax division. You don't need to know how to do taxes. People always ask, it's a lot of math. No, it's not. It's data entry. We're doing softwares. We're talking about strategies, and those things are what we're going to teach you. And that's what you need to know for your clients. So, truly, I think I saw a comment here. It was saying, am I too late? Is it too late to join? No, right now we are offering the opportunity for you to join our tax division and for you to join in our life division. Health insurance is included with your life insurance license. So we do teach in all of those areas. If you are wanting to get started with us, make sure that you send us a message saying info tax or info life. And if you are wanting to join Diana and her team, make sure that you send her a message. I don't know if you want to state, Diana, where exactly they can get in contact with you so that way they can either join your team.
So they can actually just message me directly at Diana DeJesus, which is my personal one. And then I have also my business page, which is under DeJesus Financial Services, LLC.
Perfect, perfect. So Diana's going to be commenting that in the live in just a little bit so that way you guys have it. But I'm so happy that you were able to join us, Diana. Thank you so much. I am so excited for your growth and you building your team, excited for the new agents that have started with you and they're going to be on fire. You said sisters, they're going to be just like you, right? So we're going to see a lot of the DeJesus family in here with love. And just so you know, we are located all throughout the United States. We work 100% virtually. You do not have to be in Florida or a specific state. We can help clients all over and we can work from wherever. So if you wanted to learn more, make sure you send us the message and just know that growth starts with the first step. If you are not going to take that seriously, then I hope that you do try to see how far you can go. So with that being said, I will see you all next week for our next live. Thank you again,
Thank you
Deanna.
for having me.
Guys. Bye.